to Brown's neighborhood after dark. Boy, look here. I'm telling y'all, it's got to get live because it's after dark. And I got 2 players with me. I hope I didn't say the wrong thing. I mean, God dog. I mean, you know what I'm saying. You know, but that's just what we say in the neighborhood. They ain't playing nobody, I don't hope. But that just sounded good, so I threw it out there. It's like throwing a jab, you know what I'm saying? But I got Todd here and I got Luke. I really want to know what the hell's going on with Todd. Because every time we come on this cast, he sit there like a real citizen. Like he ain't did a damn thing wrong. I don't want to know all of everything. But he say he's shy. Did you say that, Todd?
Yeah. In my previous conversation, yes, I did.
What the hell were you shy of when you was talking to girls in school?
It wasn't about just talking to girls. It was more about me, the way I was raised, you know, not having that family.
Well, yeah, but look here. The first thing when people say you're shy, it's like you shy to talk to girls. Were you shy to talk to girls?
To a certain extent.
Were you shy to talk to girls in school?
To a certain extent. I had to get a little bit more confident once I got to knowing them, you know, but...
But they liked it you looked it good.
I mean, that's on the surface, you know what I mean?
But did you know you look good?
I mean, I used to hear that, but I think that affected me.
If the girls was telling me I look good, they would be in trouble. They go around telling me, Brad, you cute, you look good. I'll be like, man, I thought I was Hercules too. I'll be like, well, you want to see Hercules? You know?
Right.
But they telling you cute, and you don't know how to take it.
Yeah, it's, you know, because, you know, growing up, when you don't really have both parents in the household, as far as me, I never had a father. You know, he was there, but he wasn't there. So when I used to hear these things about girls liking me, I didn't really know how to address it because I was never taught how to love.
You didn't?
No.
Man, I would have tried something.
Yeah, but you can't
I would
try.
have took her around that classroom with everybody gone and try to kiss her.
Yeah.
Did you kiss the girls in school?
Yeah. We used to always go around Drew, the little bungalows.
Yeah.
And up in Russell, Mr. Taylor used to always catch me and Clarence in the back. You know how you do sweeps
right
after school when we go to the youth.
Were you at Russell?
Yeah.
Well, man, see, it's so much I have to learn about you, Todd. Then I'm going to deal with him. But first is you. We used to have these little athletic things on the playground and run around the track and do little competition. On the bars. You know, even though Dave thought he was, the main man, you know, I was going to elbow him and knock him down, but I didn't want to hurt him. Did you ever compete into that? Did you play kickball with us?
I was one of the best kickball players at Russell, me and Johnny Porter.
Is that
and I used
right?
to like to get the bouncies, and I used to kick it right over the gate all the time. I was left footed.
Okay, well, at least tell me what you was doing. That's what I want to know what you was doing.
I was doing all that.
So you was a kickball pro.
Yes.
You played sock ball too.
Well, I didn't play sock ball.
Oh man, we hold it and sock it wherever we can.
Yeah, I didn't play sock ball.
You just was a kickball guy.
Kickball, and I used to run.
I mean, I played dodgeball and all that.
I remember
and I did hopscotch.
That was fun. Yeah.
Dodging the ball, and trying to throw the ball. You didn't do that?
Yeah.
Oh, I need to know what you did in school, man. Don't make me think you just went through elementary and you didn't do nothing.
No, I did a lot in elementary.
Because I want to know this. This is what I really want. It was a little basketball team at Russell, 6th grade. You in the 6th when I'm in the 6th. What were you doing that you wasn't on the team?
I wasn't playing basketball in the 6th grade. I didn't play basketball at all until I got to when I was going to Sugar Ray Youth Foundation. And so I was playing with them.
I remember
Sugar Ray. Getting a little building.
I mean, because Russell had a little team.
Yeah, I didn't play on that team.
Did you know me?
Yeah.
At Russell?
Yeah.
Well, you should have hung with me. I would have showed you the ropes.
Right.
You know, I was in everything. At least I was trying to be Luke. At least I was on the little basketball team, you know, and I was playing kickball. Perry used to give me his little cookies so I could be on his team, you know, because if he didn't give them to me, I'd be on the other team. So who class was you in the 6th grade?
Don't start me the line.
I'll be damned. That boy don't even...
I
Do
can't...
you remember any teacher name?
Russell?
Yeah.
Miss Patterson.
Miss Patterson? He gonna start me to thinking he was ditching in elementary.
No, I wasn't ditching, but I wasn't focused.
You wasn't?
No.
I mean, could you take somebody like your partner David? He can tell you who is a 3rd grade teacher, 4th grade teacher, Miss Threskill, Miss Keys, Miss Shraver. Do you remember any of those people?
I remember Miss Leach at
That's Drew.
Exactly, but at
And
Russell,
you couldn't have been too interested in Miss Leach
no,
because she was teaching English.
right.
And I showed that was my worst subject. So let's get out of Russell, because you can't tell me what you was
Nothing
doing in
about
Russell. I mean, damn.
Everything is
How long did you go to Russell?
to the 6th grade.
When did you start?
Well, I went to Parole first. Then my mom.
No wonder. You got a taste of
And then my
Parole.
mom we moved to 90th, and then I started going to Russell.
And how old were you then?
Going to Russell, what was you? 8?
I don't know, Todd.
Yeah,
when you left
Parole,
Parole, what grade did you leave Parole in?
2nd.
2nd? So you was at Russell 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 6th.
Yes.
You should have knew the whole crew.
Man, I didn't know the whole crew.
You didn't know Baker and all, Eric Thompson and...
My road dog was Clarence Tosin. Me and Clarence Tosin hung out 24/7.
You didn't know Tosin?
Yeah.
Man, I couldn't have been that tough that you didn't want to run with me. I could have showed him the ropes. Did you know me?
I knew of you.
I mean, God, dog, you gotta know your elementary partners, man. So you knew of me. You have to know who Butchie is.
Yeah. Well, when we got Drew, when we started going to
So
Drew,
in Russell, you didn't know who in the hell Butchie was.
I didn't know who a lot of people were.
My Lord, man, look here. I gotta teach him how to work this board because he's slow.
Right.
It's Joe's turkey because I'm checking it out as we go. I had to put that out there. So now you get to Drew. Did you play any 7th grade after school football?
Yeah.
Or did you wait till you got to the 9th grade?
No, I played after school football. I was on Mr. Bush team, the coach.
You was on Mr. Bush team?
Yeah.
Did y'all win any games?
We won a lot of games.
Oh, Lord.
We won a lot of
mercy.
games. Because remember, Ronnie Williams was my quarterback.
Oh, Ronnie was your... So y'all had to win some games. Ronnie was your quarterback.
Yeah.
He gonna cheat enough to get you a game or two.
And I was one of the best wide receivers at Drew. You
Were
remember,
you?
I got the MVP. And I always remember it. It's certain things I remember in my past. I remember when I got the MVP trophy, Mr. Williams, when he said that I could catch a BB at night, it always stuck in my head. 'Cause you know I had hands.
Well, why you didn't play football?
I didn't play football because...
It was too tough for you?
No, I don't think it was too tough. It wasn't something I was into. I was more into basketball. I tried to...
Mr. Rose, I'll be there. You was a good-looking kid, right? You was shy of the girl. You could have had all of them, but you just didn't know what you was doing. Baker, you should have followed Baker.
Well, yeah.
Baker get him one, and boy, and look here.
He was a grown man.
Yeah, he wasn't letting it go.
He was a grown man back
So,
then.
man, look here. Did you know anything about the free lunches or anything?
Yeah.
In the morning, the roses that we would get for breakfast.
The jelly rolls and the chocolate milk.
So you made it to school on time to get that?
Yeah.
Okay, well, at least he experienced those roses, you know what I'm saying? That was the best thing going. At the school, if you didn't learn nothing, at least you came and got that rose, that jelly, that damn cinnamon roll. It was good. They had a cafeteria. The cooks cooked at that time. Now they just give them a machine and they just give them an apple and an orange or something like that.
That's more healthy.
But damn, man, we still got to eat breakfast.
Yeah, but I think it's more nutrition. Everything is changing now. Especially the rolls weren't good for them.
Well, they might have wasn't, but boy, if you would have took them away, they might have burnt down the school. They would have burnt the school down just so you take the roses out of the man, look here, boy. Man, I don't even want to go there. Todd, do you remember what homeroom you was in? I'll be damned.
And I'm being honest. When once I left society, everything that happened to me when I was out here, I didn't remember anything.
You forgot it all.
Forgot it all because I was focusing on survival mode. So all that other shit didn't matter to me.
It was over.
It was over.
So how old were you when you left?
I was 19.
Young buck. I'm like, man, look here. You got to high school. See, my thing is, you got to realize who in the hell was Todd hanging out with? And he ain't going to say that. I'm just like, damn. You know, you're 18, you're 17, 16. You playing ball. Help me, Lou.
Man, that's his reality. That's his truth. I can't help you with that.
You can't. But what you was doing in elementary, you know what I'm saying? You had all kind of trouble.
Oh man, adversity.
Now he can tell he can tell you about his problems in elementary, you know, from people chasing him to all kind of stuff. So Lou, did you have any mental conditions?
Yes, I did. I didn't understand that I had mental conditions until I was behind the wall. Because I started analyzing.
Tell people what is behind the wall.
Behind the wall is prison.
Okay. Now
belly of the well.
Because see, if you say I'm behind the wall, they're gonna be like, damn, what is that?
Well, anybody that know about the system, they know what behind the walls, man. Because once he said that, I know what he was talking about.
What you knew what he was talking about. I didn't know what he was talking
Okay, well,
about.
you're being educated today.
Yeah, sure is. I love education.
Right.
The belly of the
Todd, let me get back to you. Did you have any fights at Russell?
Yeah.
You did?
Yeah. You
Who
remember
the hell were you fighting?
this one dude named Michael Newell and Andre
Michael
Brown.
Noodles. Michael, I remember that name.
Michael Newell. They used to always put the, knock the stick off the
Oh
shoulder.
man.
Well, why Michael Noodles?
Because he always thought he was a bully. He always thought he was tough. So I was the type of dude, I was shy, but I didn't mind fighting because I knew that I can, you know what I mean? So
You can throw him.
yeah.
I'm just saying. I remember that damn name, Michael Noodles. I
Noodles.
wish I could see that face. Did he go to Drew?
Yeah.
He went on to Drew. Michael Noodles. Boy, I wish I could see that picture. He thought he was a little thug or something, huh?
Yeah. Always,
And
tease.
you had to fight him.
Yeah.
Did he beat you up?
No.
He didn't give you one of them black eyes like on the Little Rascals?
I never really had a black eye until I got like elbowed playing basketball, Yeah.
I'm just asking, dude. Who won the fight?
I did.
Well, just say it. I beat him up.
Yeah.
You know, was he trying to get you?
No, it was quick.
It was quick. Do you remember the little Thompsons, Danny Thompson and
Will? And
Yeah.
I remember all them. Yeah, on John
you
Street. They grew up on John Street.
oh, they live close by you. That's why you know who they is.
Yeah.
You know they did a lot of little fighting under that tunnel. You know, you ever been under the tunnel?
Yeah.
Did you ever go under the tunnel?
All the time.
Did anybody ever get you?
No.
He just let you pass.
Yeah, well, I used to go in there when there wasn't nobody under there. I
You
wasn't looking for trouble.
No, that's good. No, I'm just saying that's good. Them two little suckers would get in trouble, man, fighting. They were little and short, but they would be fighting in that tunnel. You know, it was something. You go down and then you cross up under the street and come up.
And
Yeah.
it's gone now. And it's funny, I was coming up, what street is that?
Firestone.
I was coming up Firestone about 3 weeks ago. And I was with somebody, and I was telling them, I remember they used to have that tunnel, and it's gone now.
Yeah. It'd be dark up there. It'd be a mirror on the wall so you can see
Exactly, yeah. Pissed.
Yeah,
then you be scared to go down there because you hear the stories about the dude down the street used to be cutting people's throats. Remember you hear the stories and you be scared, you go down there and you'll peek before you said, then you try to get through there fast as you can.
As fast as you can. They be going down there though, but you know, Lil Will and Dan, if one losing, he gonna jump in, you know, little Danny Thompson and Willie Thomas.
Yeah, rest in peace.
Yeah, Lil Will, that was my partner.
Yeah.
Lil Will, man, he was certain guys I hung with, they hung with me because they were looking for me. I wasn't looking for them. For whatever reason it was. You know, we became real close. When whatever happened to him across them tracks, man, that really hurt me. You know what I'm saying? That was my partner. We got in a little fight here and there at Russell.
Yeah.
You get any fights at Drew?
No,
You ain't getting no fight.
I wasn't looking for fights. I always tried to,
Well, no, you ain't got to be looking for one. They just hit you in your jaw and you had to fire back on him.
Yeah, I didn't get no fights in Drew.
Oh, okay. Well, that's good, Todd. That's good. That's good. And see, you was a pretty good ball player. You don't even remember what homeroom you in. I mean, damn.
I don't remember.
No, I understand that.
Because if you did much as time as I did, that was irrelevant.
Right.
And a lot of things that I could remember certain things when I was out, but in there it was more about, like I said,
So you was 19
yeah, I was 19.
when you went in.
Yeah.
You know, you was 19 when you went in. I don't know if you was ready for that or not.
Well, you don't really know how strong you is until you really put in a situation like that. I don't know. I was having this conversation the other day, like, I don't know where all that time went. Like, I did 31 years, and when I look back on it, like, how did I get through 31 years in there? I did like 7 years in the hole.
Why? What put you in the hole?
When I was at Soledad, jumped on the police, Sergeant Cabrera.
Who did that?
I did.
The hell you do that for?
Because he was trying to, I was in the cell, so he tried to do a cell extraction. And I was kind of
What
like...
is a cell extraction?
I mean, when they do a cell extraction, they have you come out the cell where they can search your cell and pat you down.
Right.
And I was kind of like, I just got out the hospital because I had a low platelet count, meaning that my spleen, a platelet meaning your blood level is low. And so they had me taking steroids, prednisone. And so when I got out the hospital, I was acting weird, you know what I mean? Because the steroids was affecting me. So he came up there, tried to do a cell extraction. And then once he tried to do the cell extraction, he tried to put me in handcuffs, and I just like flipped out on him. You know, beat him up bad, and it took like 8 police to get me down. They pepper sprayed me, the pepper spray didn't stop it because it was a steroid. So they put me in the hole for like 3 years, fighting it, and then I ended up beating it because they knew that I had what they call a substance-induced psychosis. But they didn't care.
They didn't care.
Yeah.
So when you first went in, what was your mindset on now surviving?
Well, when I first went in...
Because you're only 19.
Yeah, well, I was 19 when I got to prison at 21. I ended up going to Old Folsom. Me and my crime mate, we caught the chain together. Catching the chain mean like...
You and your crime mate.
Yeah.
Y'all caught it together.
Yeah, we caught it together.
Why? How did that happen?
I mean, because we was on the same case. So
Right,
9 times
so
10,
we're going to move y'all at the same time.
at the same time. So we was kind of networking. So, once you get on the yard, once you come through that gate at Folsom, when that gate closed, and then once you get off the bus, you got everybody standing around. Mexicans, blacks, whites, all gang members. So once you get off the bus, like where you from, homie? And then
First thing.
tell them where you from, and then you got homies out there. So then once you go to Fish Row is where they put you at to evaluate you to see how much time you got, what program you're gonna be doing. So once you get on Fish Row, they start sending you commissary, like food, stamps, little things to keep you occupied while you on Fish Row trying to get to the main line.
And you a young man. You
I'm
ain't...
a young man, and didn't have no young, but I didn't care. I was kind of like, I knew I had life, and you don't think about nothing but survival mode. Nothing else matters.
That's something, man, being 21 years old.
Oh, yeah.
And now you got to change your whole thinking of life.
You have to.
It's almost like being in the military and they drop you off over in a war zone at 21.
Well, it is like the military.
You had to have a strong mind. I'm glad that you in your right mind. You know what I'm saying? I mean, being, 19 and 21 going to Folsom. Yeah, man, me just hearing that is like, God, dog, everybody couldn't handle that.
Oh, yeah.
No.
And,
So one thing I want to know, your crime, where is he today?
He home. He got out like 2 years ago. He got home like 2 years ago.
So he did finally touch down.
Yeah, he ended up doing more time.
Right, but he out.
Yeah, but he out.
Yeah, thank God he got out of there, you know what I'm saying? So now once you in there, you end up beating the police up. Good Lord, and who thinking about jumping on the police?
Yeah,
It just happens.
And so now you in what you call that for 3 years?
Shoot, solitary.
You know about that? You ever been in solitary confinement?
Yeah,
You
2 years.
Lil Lou? Lil Lou know about being in solitary confinement. Well, we gonna get to you, Lou. You like to hide shit.
I'll be hiding.
Oh yeah, he is. You know what I'm saying, man?
Let me reiterate something.
Okay.
I went to the hole. It was like later. That was like 94, because I just got to the prison in like 84. But this was something that happened later down the line. But
So you was in there for a while.
Yeah, but in between that, I was in and out the hole, due to like...
In and out the hole?
Yeah. Sometimes
What the hell kept sending you to the hole, Todd?
Well, sometimes they just lock you up just because you hear about something finna happen with certain gangs, so they lock you up in the hole for your own protection, so like you won't retaliate against certain...
So I mean, would this be one particular person or several people?
It's just several people. A lot of time it be bullshit. Sometimes a person...
And they putting Todd in there.
No, it's not me, just your hood. Sometimes they'll drop a kite.
Okay.
So it's called kite dropping. Dudes will drop a kite, and once they read that kite, they got to act on it.
Oh, so
Okay,
they
well,
put
this
whoever's
certain-
from that hood,
Yeah,
they go in.
And so if you label to that hood, they're gonna quite naturally single you out. Okay, you got to be locked up for this and that. You know,
Right,
EHU, emergency housing unit.
Man, so when it finally hit your mind that I got to get the hell out of here?
Funny you ask. Going through the systems, getting by. Clarence, my best friend, rest in peace.
Toasting?
Clarence Worship.
Worship.
Yeah, Clarence
So
Worship.
when you were saying your best friend in elementary, was it worship or toasting?
It was both of them. But me and Clarence Worship was 1 year younger than me.
Okay.
And so Clarence Toasting, he was like one of the first one I met at Russell.
Right.
Yeah,
right.
but
so Clarence Worship lived by you somewhere,
me
didn't
and
he?
Clarence used to live together. Yeah, you know, that was my best friend.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Is he still living or he gone?
You know, he passed away in 1989. He was coming to visit me, and he got into a car accident.
Wow.
Yeah, him and Otis Keys.
Sure did.
Clarence
I
and,
remember that. Yeah, I remember that.
So both of them was coming to see you.
Well, Clarence was coming to see me, but Otis was coming that way because they was going to Sacramento.
Sure was.
And Clarence was taking some female back
I remember that.
to Sacramento. And he was going to come see me after the fact. And then once he, you know, had his car accident,
And Otis was in there with him?
yeah, Otis survived. Clarence didn't have his seatbelt on.
I remember that.
Otis survived. And the girl who was pregnant by Clarence, he survived because the car was sitting on top of her. And his daughter today named is Miracle. They named her Miracle, but she survived. The only one died was Clarence.
Wow.
But you know, God is good because they took Clarence, but Clarence introduced me to my ex-wife. That's how I met her through him.
Your ex-wife.
Yeah, my ex-wife, Galen.
Well, when the hell did you get married, Todd?
I got married in 1987.
Inside.
Old folks. 4th of July.
And did you know her before you went in?
No, I met her through Clarence. So, you know, when you in jail, you be trying to come up, you know, pen pals. So I sent Clarence pictures. You know, he was going to Baptist. He was going to that Christian college in Riverside.
He sure was.
I used to send him letters.
Who was going to a Christian college?
Clarence and Otis. They went to the same college.
What's the? You don't know the name of that.
What was it?
Cal Poly? Was it Cal
Cal
Poly?
Baptist.
It was Cal Baptist?
Yeah, Cal
That's
Baptist.
Where my daughter
It
get
was-
her
They were
degree
still
from.
trying to play ball or something.
Yeah, they were still playing
Cal
play ball.
Baptist.
Yeah.
A Christian college.
Yeah, it was a Christian college.
Wow. And so that happened, and you end up meeting a young lady.
And so it's funny. So Clarence, I used to always send him pictures. So he told me like, "Hey man, I know 2 young ladies want to write you. One of them live in Compton. I'll never forget that. And then he said one live in San Jose. I want to write the one in San Jose because I was up north, and San Jose is like 15,
Not
20
far.
minutes
Yeah,
away.
right.
Yeah, so Clarence gave him my hookup. No, what happened, it was one summer, I called Clarence. I was in Tehachapi Max. And I said, Clarence, whatever happened to that young lady that you supposed to be right? God is my witness. When I called him, she was over there bringing Clarence his sweater back because he had left it in her car.
What?
Yeah. And so she got on the phone. And so we started talking. And she said, you know, Clarence be this and that and woo. So I got her phone number. We started writing and this and that. And we got married in 1987. We was married for 17 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
I would have stayed married too, Todd.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I need all the companionship I can get.
Yeah.
Did you get any conjugal visits?
Oh, yeah. I was getting them once a month because when
You were?
Yeah, because she
Were you
moved-
ever the screwer?
Yeah, you get conjugal visits. You go out there for 3 days. And I used to get standby. Standby mean like when you live close to the prison, they could get them a phone call within an hour. They could get there within an hour. So I was getting standby once a month because she moved to Salinas when I went to
Well, that's the
Soledad.
best thing happened to you.
Oh,
One
yeah.
of them anyway. Is she still living?
Yeah, she's still living.
You need to tell her thank you.
Oh, yeah. I tell her that all the time.
You know,
man.
17 years, man, that helped you.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And that helped you. You stay looking at that screen. You understand me, Punchy? All right. Now keep up with him. He in training. Yeah, you is. You just don't know you in training, big fella. It's my homeboy.
Right.
Many years. He done sent me through a lot of turmoil. You understand?
You're a good friend.
Man, I'm the best friend he got. He ran off, he got married, stayed married for a while. You understand me? When all of that went bad, you know what I'm saying? He got back out there in the world, he got lost. Next thing I know, he was on my porch. He said I didn't have nowhere else to go.
That's right.
I knew if I called you, you wasn't gonna let me get away.
right.
That's Punchy.
Yeah.
So people, you know, they They don't know. They know who he is. They don't even know he got a real name. His name is Ronald.
I always knew it by punching.
That's what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying? He changed on me, but he trying to get back. Man, I don't want to talk about him. I'm trying to find out about Todd.
Oh, yes.
But I just, he working the board today, so I just threw him in there, So, Todd, you done 17 years of marriage. Man, that's the best thing you can get in there, brother. At least I think, I'm just saying. Somebody
it really helps you, and I learned a lot through that, because when I met her, it was more like it was somebody that you need that person to give you that confidence, come visit you. People need that, and she introduced me to her father. Her father was Reverend Gaines. He was a pastor out of San Jose. So me and her started talking about marriage. So she ran it by her father, right? Her father's name was Willie Gaines. And so I'll never forget that when she told him they was going to get married, his wife, Alice, told Willie to go up to come up there to visit me and said it's not going to happen. And so he came to visit me.
Who said it wasn't going to happen?
Her mother, Miss Gaines. She told Willie, you go up there and let him know.
Talk to that boy.
Yeah, because you're not going to get married. And so he came up there and visited me. We sat down, we had a long talk, and I told him, I proposed to your daughter and this and that. And he like, okay. And he said, I'm going to do the ceremony. Because he was a minister.
Wow. Is that right?
That's
and
powerful.
he did the ceremony. And so the crazy thing about it, so when he went back home, that's his wife, she told him, you did what? And he said, yeah. He said, when I seen him, he reminded me of the son named Lord that I never had. So he always called me Lord. Wow. And so she came to visit me. And the crazy thing about it, I felt like that was my family because I never had a father. And when he came to visit me all the time, he used to hug me and say, I love you, Lord. I didn't know how to accept that because I never heard it from my father.
Right.
But that's the normacy. I always give them kudos because they taught me a lot and I learned a lot.
Man, no,
that's real
right,
talk.
right there.
Yeah.
That's some deep shit right there.
And I say that to say that God took Clarence away, but they put her in my life.
No, man, right there. That's real talk. People do a lot of talking.
Yeah.
But that right there.
This is reality.
Man,
I
look
lived
here.
it.
I wasn't even there, and I felt that you make these one good googly. That this man came and visited you, and it touched his heart.
Touched his heart, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because see, a person can tell when somebody's a good person.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Read the spirit.
Just read the spirit, yeah. And can tell that now, man, you kicking, now you're making me feel something. See, I've been wanting to know about Todd because I know only what the little part through our junior high school in Russell. I watched everybody. See, maybe I was nosy. I don't know what it was.
No, you just curious.
Yeah, I wanted to know.
I mean?
If you was good at something in elementary, if it was kicking the ball or whatever it was, and you get to junior high and you was good out on that field, I'm gonna know it. Because I was like, I want to be the best. So if you was good, I want to know what's happening with you. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I was saying, why wasn't you in some of the activity? Because I knew you had some skill, so, I was always wondering, well, what is he? Well, if he ain't, I'm asking them, I'm in my mind, if I'm on the team, why he ain't on the team? So that made me, made my mind wonder, shoot, what was he doing? You know what I'm saying?
It wasn't about what I was doing. It was more of what was being, it was just the house, the dysfunctionality. And, growing up, I couldn't get the best of things. You see people, parents at the games.
You know what's so a trip, Todd? See, that what you was living at home, but nobody could see it.
Exactly.
All they was seeing was this good-looking kid.
Right. Who was hurting inside, but you never know.
Man, and to be really tripping off of it, they'll be thinking, shit, he living good. He living okay. Everything's all right at the house. And he just making the best of it. Mm-hmm. Because I had a mother and a father, and I still didn't get all the clothes I want, So, I look to other measures to get some money. I don't want the people to know all that, but Punchy was right there with me. You know,
Right.
He was the type of guy I tell him, go in there and look like a gopher. Go down there and see if it's okay. And he'll come back and say, yeah, Brian, it's all right. You can go. It's all right. I'll say, okay. You know, Punch. You know, I love Punch. You know what I'm saying? That's like my brother. Because he was my age, you know. All my other brothers, you know, I loved him, but they was old. I felt I was teaching him the ropes, but he was doing a lot of dirt. Punchy was doing dirty shit, you know. Young, you know. I don't even know why I was his friend. That's cold-blooded, ain't it? I don't even know why I was his friend. I don't even know why he became my friend. I know why he became my friend. He was looking for protection.
Right.
He was looking for protection. He like, shit, if I come friends with Brian, then they ain't gonna whoop me, you know, because they know I'm running with him, and he have man and have kid, you know what I'm saying? He got a little bullying in me too, and you know, but I wasn't going around bullying nobody, but he gonna try to take him if he can, you know what I'm saying? We in junior high school, and but that boy was doing wrong, man. I think he the one got me on that damn weed.
He didn't get you on that weed. He didn't put a gun to your head. It was a choice you made.
Yeah, but he introduced it to me.
What?
Maybe he might have introduced it to me. I don't know. I hate to tell the people I was smoking weed in junior high school because I'm such a good citizen.
Ain't
you know,
nobody perfect.
No, I sure wasn't perfect. But I'm a good citizen now. I done proved myself right. Him, he just was dirty. Yep. I hate to tell on my friend, but I'm gonna get off of him because he working the board. I just want to put him out there. He's shy too. He's shy than you, Todd. You know. He a shy guy. You look at him, he damn near won't look at you. Hold his head down. I ain't never been that shy. God, dog. I didn't want to get up and talk in front of no people or nothing, but, you know, God helped me, you know. So thank you, Jesus, for that.
Well,
so
you got a beautiful platform, though.
Yeah, man.
I'm going to be over there one day.
Yeah. Well, you know, hey, man, it's all a vision. I want a man to have a vision. When you decide to do it, I want to be the man on the board.
I'm going to be interviewing you.
Ooh, you gonna have a real story there, brother.
Mr. Rose's house.
Ooh, God, dog.
It's already written.
Exactly.
Hey, look here. Man, I love that. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. I don't want nothing to just be all me. It's too big. You know what I'm saying? Stuff is too big. Don't go to sleep, Punch. Stuff is too big. So I don't mind sharing because there's a whole lot of out here. There's enough for me and everybody else too. You know what I'm saying? So I just want my little, my
little space.
Look at, when you know you cut a cake, I don't want the little bitty slices. Give me a nice piece, you know what I'm saying? Give me a nice piece of cake, you know, so I can have some now and have some later, you know. So Todd, you was married. I still want to know when the point you say, it's time for me to do something to get out of here.
When I met my ex-wife.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, I realized that, man, I got to get out of here. You know what I mean? Because when I'm first in there, when you're in there, you don't think you're going to ever come home.
You just survive.
You just survive. That's your mindset. Get through the day.
Get through the day.
You know what's the trip, Todd? You know, when you're in them places, you see some of the most viciousest people in the world. Not every one of them, but there's always a whole lot of ignorant ones.
Oh, yeah.
Vicious. They just don't, may not even be thinking about coming home. I'm just, and that's their personality so that they can keep that power figure, you know what I'm saying? But you said, man, I want to come home.
Oh, yeah.
And so who helped? Who helped with that?
Well, first God,
Yeah.
I had to put all my faith and trust in God. And then I just had to start doing the things that helped me come home. I had to start programming. I wasn't programming at first. I mean, that, you got to be taking all these self-help classes, showing that you want to come home.
So,
I didn't give a damn.
So who told you about that, or you just figured it out?
As you start getting older up in there, all of us life, we start coming together. And we just, start putting together programs, and and the people, Great Davis. Great Davis implemented some new programs to help us come home. Because when Pete Wilson was government, he said that all life was going home in a pine box. I don't remember if you ever recall that. But that's what he said. And then when he said that, our minds were like, damn, we gonna die up in here.
Cut the switch.
Great David, was it Greg? Jerry Brown. Was it Jerry Brown?
It was or was it Wilson? It was Brown. It was
Brown.
Governor Brown.
And when Governor Brown got back to the governor, he started, letting us go, putting in programs, like showing insight, just doing the necessary things to come on. So once he got back in office, we started programming, and I started doing the most. Started doing all the self-help classes. I started just, showing that I'm trying to get out of here.
Exactly.
And so
exactly.
That's what it was about, man.
So when you finally went to that board, and that board said you might have this chance now to get out, or, once you go to that board and they clear, do they give you a date?
Well, no. Well, first you go to a doc hearing. A doc hearing meaning that you go to a doc hearing like every 3 years. By me having 32 to life, I had to have 3 doc hearings. So a doc hearing is just to prepare you for when you do go to the board. So you go.
So you have to have 3 of them?
I had to have 3. You go every 3 years to a doc hearing. They just want to see how you program. What are you doing? So whatever you're not doing right, they're going to tell you.
So once if it's time for a person that can get out, but he ain't went to no doc hearing.
Well, every lifer has to go to a doc hearing.
Oh, okay.
That's required.
Okay.
So you go to your 3 doc hearings. I went to 3. So each doc hearing, they tell you like, well, Mr. Rose, you need to take this, you need to take that, you need to do more.
And you doing those
self-help.
things.
And so after the last doc hearing, then you start going to your actual hearings to come home. I got denied like 6 times before I actually got a date.
That's crazy.
But no, you know what? That had to be God keeping you strong, because, somebody, knock you down 6 times.
Yeah.
When somebody say 6 times, you ain't in, you almost want to give up.
You got to make that adjustment.
But you didn't give up after 6 times.
You can't give up. I mean, you got to like sometimes just psych yourself out. And just.
So after that 6th denial, here you come number 7. What they say?
I mean, I was ready. I was more ready because I knew that because I had got a 5-year denial. And so when you get that 5-year denial, you just got to prepare yourself to go in that 5 years. So once I went
what they call it, a 5-year denial?
Yeah, you could get denied up to 15 years in a dead life. So if you get like a 5-year denial, I mean, okay, they want to give you a date. Then you get that 3, like, okay, because they give you 15, like, okay, you ain't trying to do nothing. 15 years denial, get out of here. I see you in 15 years. Yeah.
So they gave you a 5.
They gave me a 5.
You done that 5?
I done that 5.
Then they gave you a 3.
No, after I done that 5, I didn't think I was gonna come home. So when I went in there, I got caught with 2 cell phones. The first cell phone I got caught with, I got the 5-year denial. And while I'm on the 5-year denial, I get caught with another cell phone. Just, trying to do the most. And then, so I had 5 years to prepare myself. So I met this brother, me and him, I was a counselor clerk. So we used to sit down and talk.
You were a counselor clerk?
Yeah, I was a counselor clerk.
So you counseling people?
Yeah, well, I would basically I type out the duckets, and send them to them, and it was more of a counselor clerk.
Type?
Yeah.
You learned how to type?
Yeah.
Peck, whatever it was, you did.
You ain't lying.
Real talk. Come on, Punch, make sure when I'm talking, you make sure it's on me, okay? Hey, click, clack, click. All right, then. Oh, he said something. he got fired up. We gonna have to give him another breath of fresh air. Okay, so after that, then what happened, Todd? After that 5-year denial?
Oh, so so I started doing a lot of self-help classes.
Did you have any more cell phones after that?
No.
You said the hell with these cell phones.
Yeah, because that was
because they was coming. Did they ever come back checking for it?
Always. They always come. I mean, when they know you hot like that, they know that you they was coming.
They were looking for it. They come look for it. And you ain't got it this time.
They come knocking on the door, shine a flashlight, get up. It was crazy.
So after they got them 2, they did come looking again.
Yeah, they gonna always do that.
Is that right?
Yeah.
See if you got a cell phone. Wow.
Oh yeah.
And you didn't have one.
No, I refuse to do that again. I told myself it's time for me to get out of here, stop playing
with
my life. You know what I mean?
Right.
It wasn't about them, it was about me.
Okay.
So I had to make some conscious decisions.
Man, that's real, man. You talking to me tonight. God dog, bruh.
I told you I had a story to tell.
Yeah. So you let go that cell phone and doing all of that, and them 5 years was up.
5 years was up.
Now it's time to go back.
Now it's time to go back.
You ain't have no cell phone problem.
No more, no 115. A 115 is a write-up.
You ain't have no write-up.
No more write-ups at that.
But Ray bad to that, bro. No more write-ups, man.
But one thing about write-ups, and this is a true story, so a lot of lifers used to go to the board and they didn't have no write-ups. And the first thing the board would tell them is like, you mean you ain't had a write-up in over 20 years? They looked at it as like a bad thing.
Is that right?
Yeah, they looked at it as a bad thing. Because they figured that by you been all that time, you got to have a write-up for something, like alternating clothes, ID, just any little thing. And so they used to accuse them of like manipulating the system because you don't have a write-up. It was crazy.
That's crazy.
Prison politics was a mother hub.
Was it?
Oh, yeah.
So now you going back to there with no write-ups.
Going back to the board.
What they say now?
So I'm prepared to go. So this brother named Kenny Fly, me and him used to sit down because he was about to parole. And I took over his job as the council clerk. So we used to go back and forth like, man. So before you come home.
How were you able to take over his job as the counselor clerk?
Oh, because, he trained me before he left. So
And the people knew it.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, so you work for a counselor. The counselor his name was Mr. Robinson. He was out of Sacramento. Cool brother. So I was his clerk. And but Fly, so before you go to the board, you got to do a relapse prevention plan. So meaning that when you come home, like your triggers, your high-risk situation. So I thank God for that, brother. He said, Todd, we got to address this cell phone issue because you got caught with 2 cell phones and you haven't addressed them yet, and you going to the board. So we did a relapse prevention plan inside the prison. Was never done before. God is my witness. So when I go to the board, your lawyer hand them everything that you bring in there for your defense. They had this commissioner, his name was, it'll come to me in a minute. So they told me, it was this police named Junior. He said, man, his name was Gardner. They said, you got Gardner today. And Gardner was very lenient on getting caught with cell phone. But they had this other black commissioner named, I think his name was Robinson. If he's on the board and you got caught with cell phone, you don't even want to go in there. But when he said Gardner was in there, I had a sigh of relief. So I'm getting escorted by this police named Cunningham. So, cause you got to get escorted.
So Gardner's on the board.
Gardner's on the board. So when I go in there, I'm going with my notes and everything. Now, I didn't think I could remember none of this stuff. I said, damn, now I'm getting leery, my anxiety kicking in. I said, man, I just remembered this the other day. But I didn't let it get me off track. I said, you know what? I'm going to do this. So I'm sitting in there and waiting. Because usually board hearings can last 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 hours.
What?
Oh, yeah.
That long?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, they can last.
But they got to take a break, don't they?
Oh, they take breaks. Yeah, they take breaks. Yeah, they take breaks.
Wow.
Yeah. So I'm sitting in the holding tank. So it's somebody before me. So I'm just sitting there, you sweaty palms. And Cunningham coming. I'll never forget. She said, she had this little cracked voice. Rose, you ready to go? I said, I'm ready, Cunningham. She liked it, inmates. She was cool. So I go in the boardroom. I sit down, and so this brother named, I forgot his name, but he said, you got Gardner. When you go in front of Gardner is the type of commission, like, if he know that he's going to give you a day, he'll turn around and he'll put his glass on. Because when you walk in there, his back is turned to, he's sitting in the chair, right? So I'm sitting there and I'm talking, and I'm nervous. So one of the deputy commissioners, they asked me all these questions, so I'm answering the questions. And Gardner is the head commissioner. And so Gardner turned around and he put his glasses on. And when he did that, bruh, I started like just talking about everything that I learned and this and that. And Butchie, God is my witness. He told me, he said, man, you could be a poster child for CDC rehabilitation. He said, bruh, you came here and drilled everything. And I couldn't believe I did it. But once he gave me that confidence.
How did he give you that confidence?
Because when he turned around, he told me, you're doing a good job. Because I was nervous at first, but they told me when Gardner turned around and he put them glasses on, you got his attention. If you don't got his attention, he ain't gonna turn around.
Wow.
Yeah, because everybody wanted to go.
So people had told
He
you
was
that.
an
Yeah.
ex-police officer. Yeah, I was already informed that before I went in.
He could read.
Yeah.
Read people.
Yeah,
Wow.
he read me, and then he's so they started talking, and he just and my lawyer she said, man, you did it because I told her you ain't got to talk, I can do this. She didn't have to say a word, and so when they said that you was found suitable, but I didn't even hear him.
You didn't hear?
No, and she said
When they say you found suitable,
that means you suitable for parole, but I didn't hear it
why you didn't hear it?
because it was a shock to me.
He was in the
I didn't
zone.
think I was gonna get it. I was on. I couldn't believe it.
You was zoned out?
Yeah.
You should have heard that if you didn't hear
I
nothing
heard
else.
it, but I didn't hear it.
Yeah,
I was
you was
like,
zoned.
I couldn't believe it.
Yeah.
I had got caught with 2 phones. That's unheard of.
That's God.
But that relapse prevention plan that I did inside, it helped me. Yeah, because they'd never seen that before. And that's what Gardner told me.
And so when they told you that and you really didn't hear it,
My lawyer
when did it set in?
My lawyer said, Mr. Rose, you got found suitable. And I heard it, but I didn't hear it. And I just started, I just
No, go on and say it.
I just got teary-eyed. I was just like, boom, I was crying.
Yeah.
And I let that old macho get out the way because everybody talking about me. I was crying. I was like, I couldn't believe it. And the officer, Miss Cunningham, she like, Rose, you did a hell of a job. Because before they give you the date, they put you back in the holding tank because they talk about it. So she coming to Cunningham, be listening. She said, you did a good job. I said, thank you. And then they called me back in. They said, Mr. Rose, we find you suitable for parole. That was my story.
You just got teary-eyed and couldn't hold it.
Couldn't hold it.